Pulling up from Albany, we got Jazz in the building. You know, because you're light skinned, right? So it's like, you know, when you try to talk about your blackness, people would be like, "Oh, but aren't you Spanish?" I would imagine, especially here in New York. You know what I mean? I could imagine people think you're like, you know, Dominican or Puerto Rican all the time.
Hip hop, I feel like hip hop and R&B they're a big part of Black culture. And I want to be able to represent that in a positive way, in a good way, in a true way. And I do think I do try to incorporate that, like, just in the sense of there is a verse, it's not out yet, it's on somebody else's song, but I kind of talk about, you know, like being from the South, but also living here and how I've combined those two.
Like, you know, they've done different things. You've like stayed on the musical tip. How hard has it been for you to stay on the musical wave?
Honestly, it hasn't been that hard for me, just because, like I said before, it's something I always knew. Like, this is gonna sound so cliche. I was gonna say like it's in my bones type shit, but it's something like that.
Where is your hometown?
Beckley, West Virginia.
Love it. Beckley, West Virginia.
Shout to Beckley, West Virginia.
It sounds like a hometown.
Like, you know, it's just like, no, like I see a lot of people my age, like married with 3 kids, gone through a divorce already on their second marriage. And
I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down, eh?
The Angel of Words podcast.
I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down.
Hello, everyone, and welcome you beautiful music lovers to another edition of the Angel of Words podcast. I'm your host, Angel of Words. Don't forget to tap on that subscribe button below. Also, follow us on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast. Our sponsors today are BJS Photography. Go get them photos. And our guy, Curtis Holmes, and his book, Eyes of the Soul, available now on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon.com. Folks, if you want to know what's happening with the Angel of Words universe, go to @AngelofWordsENT or AOWENT.com. Now on deck, on the Angel of Words podcast, pulling up from Albany, we got Jazz in the building. Jazz, what is going on? Welcome. We met you at the Come Up Experience. Suave would not let the day end unless we interviewed you. And by the way, Suave is with us today. You already know the vibes.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy
Suave in the building.
a.k.a. Suaveezy. Back with another one.
Back with another one here on the Angel of Words podcast. Now, Jazz, what's going on, girl? You have a lot of talent. You play your own instruments. What's going on with that, man? Tell us about the beginning of your music life. It seems like you're really serious about this situation.
yeah, you know, I've been doing music like my whole life. I was always writing as a kid. Started playing piano when I was 12. Got in producing around 16, 17. Then finally, you know, 2021 came around. I was like, I really do want to be an artist. And that's when I started taking that side of it seriously. And that's where we're at right now. You know, I'm rapping, I'm writing, I'm doing my thing.
That's what's up. Now, Jazz, a lot of people say they take it seriously, right?
Mm-hmm.
How serious do you take it? What do you feel differentiates you from every artist that's doing it right now in 2024?
I think we're all trying to make it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I support you. You do what makes you happy. I think for me, it's one of those things where I have always known what I was going to do, where I was going to go, and it's sticking to that. I feel like, you know, some people find out a little later in life, and that's cool. That's cool. Like, you find your journey, you go through that. But for me, it was always this is it. Like, when I started playing piano at 12, I was like, music is the A plan. It's the only plan. So.
Bad. That's what's up. Now, do you read music as well? Like you read, like, okay, so does that come from like your family? Is you come from a musical family? Like, how did this all come about? There has to be like a point in life where where this, this just clicked for you.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no on a musical family. Like on my dad's side, my grandma, like all of her brothers and sisters, they all sing and like play instruments, mostly in like the church choir. And I was always with my grandma at church, so like I was seeing that a lot.
Okay, now we getting somewhere. Yeah.
And like I don't know exactly when it clicked for me. I know in elementary school, like they made us take music class every day, and then at some point, my music teacher there, she taught piano lessons, and I found that out, and I was like, yo, like I want to do this. Like I told my mom, and we got it set up, and that was that.
All right, so you've had support with your because a lot of the artists that I speak to, they don't have support from their family, and you're receiving support from your family. How important is that to you?
It's great. Like my mom especially, she's like my biggest fan. She is always so happy. Anytime I tell her I'm doing something, she's like, oh, that's so cool. Take pictures. I want to know everything. And I'm like, not everybody has that, and I'm lucky to have that. So
that's super imperative.
Yeah,
man.
we definitely all need that support system.
yeah.
And I seen that you started like your first upload on 2018 on SoundCloud. What was that journey like from producing beats, playing piano, and then you started rapping?
It's really crazy because it's like when I uploaded in 2018, I'm pretty sure I just started college. So my roommate, my freshman year, she also did music. Like we're still close. So I was around her and like her group of friends that were also making music. And I was like, no, like I do want to upload. This is something I do. But then like when it got to me being a rapper and where I'm at now, it's crazy because I always did choir in like middle school, high school, college, all of it. But I was never like, I didn't like my singing voice as much. But I was like, how am I going to be able to tell my story if I don't like how I sound when I sing? So then I started I was trying out rap when I was like 22. No. I might have been 22, but it was like 2021. And I was like, you know what? This is kind of the lane I should be in. And like, I guess my love for hip hop kind of grew from that as well. Even though, my mom was always playing old school R&B and hip hop in the house. Like I was always around that. But for some reason, it just never clicked until I became an adult and I was learning who I was and what I liked and things like that.
Yeah, like the journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
And I hear that in your music, which I actually like your single voice because you blend that R&B with rap mixed with lo-fi as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, Jazz, you're going to be singing today, right? What are you? Well, you're going to be performing today.
Yeah.
What will you be performing today? Is it your latest single?
So it is the title track off of my latest album,
Copy.
called Pressure, out on all streaming platforms. If y'all want to,
Go
check that out.
Don't
Go
forget
get
to
that.
like, share, subscribe, so that Jazz can get those listens and those streams. You
Yes.
already know the vibras, the vibes. But go ahead.
But yeah,
Continue,
it's-
Jazz. Yes, you will be performing today. We're very excited to have you
Thank
perform as
you,
well.
thank
You know
you.
what I mean? That's
I'm
what's up.
excited.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So are you excited? So you're gonna performing you're gonna be performing the title track from your latest EP, or is it a
album.
It's a
an
whole album, yeah.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Why did you call it Pressure? Because I know that's the title track and the name of the album.
So that album went through a process. It took like 2 years to get done. And originally I was going to call it Homecoming. Like, I don't know why, but that was something that stuck out to me. But then Homecoming, the track I was working on for that, like it didn't fit the album as well. And then I happened to write Pressure and record it. And I was like, no, this needs to be the title track. This needs to be what starts the story, what tells the story. And that was I just knew after that song was done, I was like, no, this is it. It was one of the last songs done for the album too.
Well, it's
So,
crazy because it's a great intro because you spoke about like the journey and how you never let the pressure get to you and
Mhm.
how you came a long way.
Yeah. It's crazy because that song resonated more after it dropped. I was like, wow, I knew what I meant.
So do you have your own? I would imagine you have your own production studio at the crib, right? Or like, how you working with the? How you releasing these tracks? Like, what's the process like? Like, what have you bought and purchased for yourself as an artist? Because my issue with a lot of artists is that they don't even know their own equipment. It's like you're going to, it's like a plumber has tools, a chef has tools. If you're an artist, you need to have your tools. What tools are you working with?
Yeah, so I mean, when I first started out, everything I was recording was in my bedroom, my dorm room. So, I just had a little basic setup, little audio box, microphone, headphones, some monitors. Right now though, I'm really lucky. Because you can hear it in my earlier works. I don't know how to mix and master. That's not really something I was that great at. Like, I'm not an engineer. But now, like, I live with my boyfriend who also makes music, and he is an engineer. So we do have the home
Great
studio.
vibes. That's
Yeah,
what's
so
I'm
it
talking
works
about.
out. Yeah.
Good shit. All right.
So
How important is he right now? Did he engineer your latest album?
he did a couple of the tracks on it, yeah.
Okay, dope.
He actually engineered the title track. He's also a feature on the album, so it's like it just works for us. But
Which feature was it?
the WYD.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
think Jay.
No. His name's Astro.
Astro,
Yeah.
okay. Now you had a couple features on it. I like the one
Yeah.
with Romani.
Yeah.
Poppin' went crazy.
Yeah, that's my guy. I wanted this album to be feature heavy. I wanted to collaborate more.
Yeah, all the
So-
collaborations were fire. Even I think it was Dance With You. That one was tough.
Yeah, that's my guy as well. We actually met through a mutual music friend, so it was like, oh, cool. Now we have something together too.
So what's your process like when you're collaborating with artists? Are you guys both in the studio, or like is it all like through Zoom? Like what's the process like?
It kind of just depends. A lot of the ones on this album, we were in the studio together, except for the second song, Low, with Jay and Izzy versus the World. Shout out to my team. But because by that time I had already moved, so they were still in West Virginia, but like I can't have a project without them. That doesn't make sense.
Did you grow up in the DMV area?
I grew up in West Virginia, yeah.
All right, well, shout out to them. We love them. You know what I mean? Go
Yeah.
ahead, continue. I don't want to cut you off, but
No,
that's what's up.
Yeah, like I grew up there. Like we went to high school together. Where me and artist named Jay. We've been best friends since we were like 16, and that has never stopped. Izzy, we knew each other in high school. We weren't as close with him. We happened to run into each other as adults, and that's when we started Gutter Music Entertainment, our little label, what we're trying to create, and they have gotten me to where I am. They've made me a better artist, and I feel like that's a mutual feeling. Like we are a team through and through. Even when we're going through shit, we're still together in a sense.
What's up with that Gutter Music situation?
So when we were in high school, we tried the same thing, but like we were in high school, we didn't know what we were doing. We had no idea. None of us knew how to record or release or anything like that. But then when we met up again as adults, which was maybe 2022, 2021, 2022, Izzy came to me and Jay and he said, yo, like, I do want to do this again. And I want to call it Gutter Music Entertainment. And from there, it was like, okay, that's it. We'll do it. We're in. And that's where we've been. And it's kind of just been like our baby that we're trying to nurture and grow. And of course, life has kicked all of our asses a few times in
How
that
so?
time. Well, Izzy just had a baby a year or two ago. Loss, health issues, things like that. So it was kind of, there have been times where we've had to take breaks and we can't put as much into it because of that. But we still always come back together and we're still always a team. We're always communicating. Like we have a group chat right now. They know I'm here. I tell them everything. And it's finding the time to do it, but also just having, our whole basis for Gutter Music Entertainment is having a support system for one another, to be creatives, to make music, to be together, to do that. So, yeah.
Have you been prioritizing yourself more though? Because I feel like, as an artist in any space, there has to become a time where like, when things of that nature that you just spoke of start happening, you have to be a little bit more egotistical. Has that been difficult? Have you thought about doing that? Is it something you're doing? Is that why you were able to put out this project that you have out right now? You speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there have definitely been times where there's only one of us that's releasing. There's only one of us pushing ourselves. And it's not like we're giving up on the others. It's just we know that life happens and it is what it is. Like even when this project dropped, I was going through a lot, so I haven't been able to promote it as much as I've wanted to.
That's why you're here, honey.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm like, it's better late than never.
Facts.
Don't worry, we're going to
Facts.
push the hell out of this. You
You
know
know.
the vibes at Angel of Words Entertainment. We get you so annoyed with the stuff we do.
Yeah, man, we do it all.
Well,
here.
that's it. You know what I mean? We'll
Yeah.
promote you till you get annoyed of your own self, you know?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
That's what's up. Well, thank you for joining us, Jazz. And everybody, don't forget that the podcast is sponsored by BJS Photography. Go get them photos. And Curtis Holmes and his book, Eyes of the Soul, available at Barnes & Nobles and Amazon.com. Suave, you know, you've been waiting for this interview a long time. What's up next for Jazz? Give us something, man. You know what I mean? Because I know you're very curious about her career. You know, you guys were
Yeah, I just-
politicking had to come up.
I kind of wanted to know about like what influences your art and like how does that your life and art go hand in hand together?
They do go hand in hand. Honestly, my life is what influences a lot of the things I write about and speak about. Sometimes I just want to tell a story. I'm just bored. I'm like, this is a good concept. I'm going to write it. But for the most part, it's things that are going on in my life, things that have gone on in my life. And I just try to make sure I'm being as authentic as I can be when I'm making music.
Yeah, 'cause on your album Pressure, you speak about heartbreak, love, and you know, you're also talking your shit. Like
Yeah.
we're popping, you know, letting people know like you're here.
Yeah, that was the goal. I wanted it to see the different sides of me as a person.
Yeah, especially the outro, like you kind of speaking about your growth.
Yeah, that was a fun one to write. I shout out to Astro. He did make that beat, and I was sitting on it for a long time. And eventually, like, I was sitting in our apartment one day, and I just started writing. I was like, this is what this beat needs to be.
Do you find it difficult to be authentic in this day and age as an artist?
I feel like in some ways, yes, because it's like you do have to put on this face of like, I'm an artist. I have to constantly be on, in a sense. But at the same time, it's finding the balance and like staying true to you while you're doing that. And I think that's how people kind of resonate with you more, is when they see that you're still yourself, but you are still pushing yourself too.
Yeah, because, you know, especially from like where you come from, like that whole DMV area, the Neptunes were weirdos. I mean, I'm going to keep it a buck. The Neptunes were weirdos. You know what I mean? We looked at them as weirdos. They came up, they went crazy. You know, Wale, also an artist I consider to be kind of weird. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like my cup of tea growing up in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we always want that hard, slick, smooth, you know, type of hip hop, you know, but that's the beauty of music that, you know, you do find your family in music, you know, just being authentic, but it's hard to stick to being yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, but you come from a, you know, a place where people that have stuck to being themselves have changed the course of pop culture and hip hop culture.
Yeah. I think with that, it's also like people tend to think like being yourself means you stick to one certain thing. But at the same time, like, I'm still growing. Like, I know I'm going to go through changes. I'm not always going to be the same person I am today. Not in a bad way. It's just, you know, life happens. You learn more. You grow more. And that does change your perspective. And I think it's important to have grace for people in that sense, too.
What was like your mind space when you first created Moments to now when you created Pressure? Because it was like a 2-year, 3-year gap.
Yeah, Moments was like, it was really a starting point. Moments will always be my baby. Like, I do think I could have done more with that one in terms of it doesn't sound as crisp as I wanted it to. I should have been in more studios working with more engineers, things like that. But at the same time, it is who I was at that time. When I made Moments, it was my first album. I was in my second or third year of college. I was working with people that I went to college with and also like my home team. I was working, because I was going back and forth, you know. During school, I was in Albany. During summer, I was back home. So it was important that I was still getting that and I was still connecting. But it's just who I was then. It's not necessarily who I am now. And I think Pressure is a bigger representation of myself now and how much more I'm willing to invest in my craft and how much more I'm willing to invest in my music and where I want to take it. Moments was a good starting point, but it could have been more.
And you definitely like see the difference in production on both. Like you turned up on like pressure, like with the features, the flows, that blend with R&B and rap, like you, and the mix of lo-fi as well. Like, plus I love your beat selection. How do you find your beats? Who make your beats? Like the samples go crazy.
It's a mix. So obviously Astro, my boyfriend, he does some of my beats. Then Jay, she makes beats too. So sometimes she sends me something. Sometimes I get bored and go on BeatStars and like I hear something, I'm like, I do need this. Let me just, And then also I do have a producer that I work with on almost every project, JC Mintz. I believe I want to say he's in the Philadelphia area, but don't quote me on that. But he's a really solid beat maker, and he always sends me stuff to work with. We get on calls and go through beats, things like that. So I think I've just built a good community for it.
I love that how everything's original music and everything's in-house. It's not like you going on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, YouTube is cool, but like, if I'm gonna look for a beat, I'm gonna go on BeatStars at least, just because like I know I've used it before, and of course, like you do have to pay. You pay the beat maker. You should always pay the people that you're working with. I do believe in that. So I don't mind doing that because sometimes you just hear something, but it's not a producer and you're like, you know what, this would fit as my song though.
And you said it's called BeatStars?
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell the audience a little about like what is BeatStars?
Yeah, I didn't learn about BeatStars until college, but it's literally just a place where producers will upload their beats for you to buy, for you to, just to sell beats. That's really what it is, which is cool. There was actually a producer I knew at my college that he had given me a beat or two. One of them was on Moments, actually. And that was like how he sent the link to get payment for them. And that's just how I learned about it, was through that.
Beatstars.com. All right, folks, beatstars.com. You already know the vibes. Jazz, it seems to me, maybe I'm wrong, obviously, we're having a conversation for the first time, that you may have grown up in like a suburban, rural type space.
Very, very country, I would
Like,
say.
how does that, because I hear it in your music, has that been a factor in making your music? Because usually, where the ambiance that you're around usually translate into the music that you make.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it does to some extent, especially like working with Jay and Izzy. Like, we're from the same place. We're from a very small town. It's very country, But
love it, love the country, man.
yeah, and it's like my mom's side of the family, they're a little more country too. So I just kind of, it's something I'm around. I don't think it defines me because I don't think I fit into the boxes that like a small town has.
Copy.
Which is fine. But
what do you mean by that though?
So when I think of like my hometown, this is no shade, no disrespect to my hometown. Let me start with that.
Where is your hometown?
Beckley, West Virginia.
Love it. Beckley, West Virginia.
Shout to Beckley, West Virginia.
It sounds like a hometown.
Like, it's just like, no, like I see a lot of people my age, like married with 3 kids, gone through a divorce already on their second marriage. And
at what age?
My age, I'm only 25.
I saw 25 kids and married and divorced is crazy.
Great vibes. That's what I like,
Great
baby.
vibes.
There you go, baby. Real American.
American.
Yeah. And I'm like, that was never my goal. I respect y'all, but I don't know. I feel like y'all don't. In that sense, like sometimes I'm like, but did you give yourself time to learn who you were first?
Gotcha. Is it one of those towns where everyone knows each other? And like everyone just kind of stays in the same place?
Everybody knows each other. You go to Walmart, 3 people in the Walmart off rip. It's like, I was working at a hotel once, summer job. I was seeing people I went to high school with just showing up. I was like, I don't know about this. I was hoping I wouldn't see y'all today.
So that's what brought you to New York. Was it like a big culture shock coming from like a small town to a big city?
Yes and no. I feel like I adapted really easily, but it was definitely different, especially because, how do I put this? Beckley is a lot of white people, Being in Albany, it's a lot more diverse. I was meeting a lot more people. Even like my roommate, she was from Colombia. So it's like,
The country?
yeah.
Oh, dope. Shout out to Colombia. You know,
Yeah.
we love South America here at the Angel of Words podcast.
You know? So it was like I was exposed to a lot more. I'm still being exposed to a lot more, especially like culture-wise, food-wise. Because, you know, like in Albany, you can go to the halal spot and get chicken over rice. We don't got that in Beckley.
Yeah.
I said that to my friend once. They were like, okay.
What do you eat in Buckley? Like in Beckley, excuse me, like hamburgers and stuff? Like, you know, what's the
Yeah, you know,
barbecue type stuff?
yeah, you know, I'm lucky. My mom and my grandmas can cook though. So, you know, I do get like some good Southern soul food when I go home at least.
The
But
vibes.
still.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I love it. I love it that. But I love the fact that you hear the tingles of that in your music, which is very important. I feel like you always got to be authentic to where you grew up at. I feel like that makes a great artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of artists, I seen you had like you was doing like interviews like during the pandemic called Artists on Artists. Can you speak a little more about that?
Yeah, no. So that was really just a passion project, I want to say. At the time, there was this platform called Quadio. They were doing a lot of Zoom calls and songwriting sessions and just putting a bunch of different artists together, like all college artists. That was like their whole thing. And it was so cool. And I was connecting with a lot of people. And then one day I'm sitting in my bedroom in my small hometown and I'm like, I would love to be able to just get on calls with artists and have important conversations together and let them say what they need to say and like just respond and react. And I decided to do it over Zoom because it was the pandemic and just made it a little YouTube series, you know, nothing crazy, just something fun that I cared about and wanted to be able to do.
Did you grow up mixed race?
I am, yeah.
Oh, yeah? All right. What was that like? You know what I mean? Nice, you know. So, because West Virginia, you consider you guys South, you consider yourself Southern?
A little bit, yeah.
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 Oh, that's what's up, man. That's great. Well, you have any issues with that growing up? Like, oh, it was just regular?
I mean, not really. I do think as an adult, though, like being in a small town like that, everybody is kind of the same. There's not that much variation at the time. But I think as an adult, so my mom is white and my dad is African American.
Okay.
So that's where that is. And I think as an adult and after I got to college, I kind of got to lean more into what it is to be a Black woman, essentially. Because like I said, small town, a lot of white people, it's not really something that I was thinking about growing up. But it's something I've leaned into more as an adult and especially as an artist in hip hop too. Like having that background and kind of just learning and also, you know, like hearing my grandma's stories. I'm always like, wow, because she can tell you about segregation. She can tell you about this. And it is a little different now just because I feel like I've grown into who I am and it's something that you embrace more as you get older when you get out of a small town, essentially.
You know, it's interesting, right? Because, like, you know, it's such a crazy dynamic, especially in America. That's such, you know, seems to be such a divisive place, you know, historically and definitely, you know, recently, you know, you could feel it a lot more. You know, because you're light skinned, right? So it's like, you know, when you try to talk about your Blackness, people would be like, oh, but aren't you Spanish? I would imagine, especially here in New York, you know what I mean? I could imagine people think you're like, you know, Dominican or Puerto Rican all the time.
Yeah, I've gotten that a few times.
Yeah, right? I could imagine. So, you know, could you speak on that? Has it been difficult? Do you like to put that kind of stuff in your music? Do you find it hilarious enough to put it in your music? Like, what do you think about that kind of situation?
It's crazy. I feel like in college, I was always getting like, everybody thought I was Hispanic until like I told them, I was like, no, like that's not it. I'm just, you know, we a little light, you know, it is what it is. But
I love it, man, you know.
But I think to some extent I do try to put it in my music in the sense of hip hop. I feel like hip hop and R&B they're a big part of Black culture. And I want to be able to represent that in a positive way, in a good way, and a true way. I do think I do try to incorporate that, like, just in the sense of there is a verse. It's not out yet. It's on somebody else's song, but I kind of talk about, like being from the South, but also living here and how I've combined those two. And I do think a lot of that does come from me learning who I am and navigating like my racial identity as well. Because moving to New York was what helped me really embrace that. So I do try to put it in the music a little bit. It's just subtle.
That's what's up, man.
Definitely felt that. I think the journey of kind of finding yourself, and you had to leave your hometown to kind of like rediscover who you are and who you want to be. So when people listen to your music, what do you want them to feel like? This is jazz.
I want them to feel like, I'm not one thing. I'm human. I'm experiencing life. Because even on Pressure, like you said, you hear me talking my shit. You hear me being in love. You hear
Facts. 22. That one went crazy. That went hard. That one went crazy.
That was literally just a story that I wanted to tell. Like, it was a real life story about an ex. Like, and that's why we don't trust men from the Bronx.
Hey, who broke your heart?
Men from the Bronx are awesome.
Yeah.
If you want to be protected for the rest of your life, you're going to be all right with a man from the Bronx.
Was he Dominican?
Good vibes,
Yeah.
The best, Shout out to my Dominicans in the Bronx.
De lo mío, ya tú sabes.
I'm always on your team,
I, however,
Sorry,
may not
Jazz,
be.
Don't worry, but it made you, you learned something and now it made you a shark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was good for you.
It was, in the long run.
Heartbreak made fire music.
Exactly.
That's it.
Like,
you have to experience that.
Yeah. Like with that song, I feel like everybody talks about how vulnerable it is when they talk to me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's great. That's what it was supposed to be. I personally can't listen to it though.
Yeah. Did he have like another family? Like what happened with that?
No, not that. Nothing that crazy.
I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
No, it was something that went on for too long and it was too much back and forth. And I was like, I'm sick of this.
And you hear that in the music too, because you're speaking about how, you still love this person, have feelings for this person, but like at the same time, you not losing them, you're losing yourself.
Yeah, because it's like when you break up with somebody and you try to be friends, but then it just gets more toxic because you're trying to be friends and those feelings are still there.
Yeah, nah.
And I was like, this is enough.
Go get that album. It's available now on all streaming platforms. Pressure, baby. Go get that. Go stream that and get in your bag.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a segment here, to line up the mood a little bit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? We reached a point in the podcast where it's time for Jesse's Weird Question here on the Angel of Words podcast.
Shout out to Jessie J in the building, First Lady of Angel of Words.
That's a fact. You know what I mean? And Jesse's Weird Question is brought to you by Brian J. Segura and BJS Photography and Curtis Holmes, Eyes of the Soul. Now, this is a weird question. I mean, I don't know if it's weird, but the question is, have you ever made your boyfriend go get you tampons at Walmart or any other facility that will sell them?
I want to say yes. I'm not for sure though, but I want to say yes because we live near a Price Chopper.
All right, cool.
So it's like, hey, can you just go down the street for
So
me?
no qualms about sending your man to do that for you.
No.
Love it.
I feel like I could send him to do anything for me if I need him to.
Oh, that's amazing.
Fire.
Good man.
Good man.
Shout
He
out
is.
to him.
He's the
you know
best.
what I mean?
love him.
That's a fact.
He says his name
He's
is
not
Actress?
Dominican, right?
Astro.
Astro.
No, he's not.
Dominican.
Where's he from? Curious.
He's from Albany. He's
Oh,
from
I
Albany.
bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Y'all met in college?
No, actually. So the night before I graduated, and I will admit I was crazy to do this, I did my first showcase in Albany that night, graduated the next morning. But we were performing at that same showcase. We didn't talk a lot then, but then when I moved back after that summer, like I said, he has the studio set up. So I was just going over there for sessions. And we were friends.
What kind of sessions you was going on?
Just studio sessions. We were just making music,
Sessions, big guy.
It's the process of making music.
Okay. Continue, my bad,
Yeah,
Jess.
no,
I
you
didn't
good.
I didn't mean to break balls. My bad.
Nah.
I didn't mean it, but
Yeah.
Go ahead. Talk
Nah.
about the sessions, please.
No, we were just making
you say it
music.
like
Like, you know, if I needed to record, I was like, hey,
Okay.
can I come record? Do you have openings?
Mhm.
Then, you know, like I'd chill there, like we'd smoke and he'd be making beats. I'd be like, oh, so you're gonna let me feature on the beat?
Mhm.
And then like we kind of became friends from that, and then we went on one date, and now here we are.
Boom.
Does smoking facilitate your artistic prowess?
Not really. I'm just more of a social smoker. Like it's not
Alright,
something
cool.
like
It survives.
yeah, like if I'm with people and we smoking. That's it.
Okay, but you don't need to smoke to make music.
No.
Gotcha. What is like your writing process when you're making music?
Word.
Honestly, it's different every time. Usually I'll start with a beat because I'm like, okay, what does this beat feel like to me? What story can I tell on it? Sometimes it's just some random lyrics that I wrote in my phone when I was bored at work one day, and I just build on that. But yeah, it's different every time based on the story, based on where I'm at. Am I sitting down just to write so that I can write? Or did it just hit me while I was on the bus? Things like that.
Do you have ever times where you're having like writer's block or not feeling inspired?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've been in one of those for a little bit now, even. Like I'm getting little ideas, but I'm not writing full songs right now.
So what do you do when you're not feeling inspired?
It's weird. I'm like, it kind of makes me think, okay, I just need to live life a little bit and come back to it. Because eventually it's going to hit me. Eventually I want to know what I want to say.
That makes sense because, like you said, your life experiences influences your art, and vice versa, where your art influences your life.
Yeah. And I feel like I said, there have been a couple of things I've been going through, but at the same time, my life has been pretty peaceful. So it hasn't been anything crazy that I'm like, I need to sit down and tell this story. But like, I still want to write and I still want to tell stories. It's just finding, not the motivation, but like the right way to do it. Finding something that pushes me to do it.
I definitely felt that. I feel like I make my best music when I'm going through problems or I'm going through a
Yeah.
situation, which is kind of messed up because I feel like life has to hit me for me to feel inspired.
I feel like that's such an artist thing though. Like it sucks because it's like we shouldn't have to be going through stuff to be as creative as we are. But it does push you. It gives you that story to tell. It gives you those emotions to build on.
So, like, what's next for you?
Right now, so I've been doing a couple of music videos for the album that will be dropping soon.
Do you have any dates?
Did
any
you already
details?
record them?
We've done some recordings. We have another one scheduled to film next week, I want to say. So I don't have specific dates yet.
Stay tuned.
But, you know, we're still in the editing process right now.
All right, cool. Because I hate when people say it's coming soon. And I never see it.
Like,
That is
like we're
my-
just in the
I
editing
don't do
process.
coming soon. I go, it's here. Like, yo,
Yeah.
go see it. You know what I mean?
Definitely within the next month, though, because I just want to be able to take.
Well, as long as y'all recorded it, that means that it's gonna be
Yeah.
on its way. I bet. That's what's up. Good for you. That's awesome. How into the business side of, because unfortunately, music is a business. You
It
gotta,
is.
be crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Are you just putting music out there willy-nilly, or are you actually, putting it through the Library of Congress, the songs that you actually love, and doing your thing to make sure that you're getting your pennies on, all these platforms?
Yeah, no, I definitely, it's crazy. Not a lot of people know this, but like I do a little bit of publicist work on the side too. So
Okay.
I'm taking that knowledge and I'm trying to apply it to myself.
Okay.
And that even if it's just like, okay, I know I need to be making more content for this, this, and this, because then, eventually we can get monetized here. We can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I'm on DistroKid, so I am getting my streaming money through there. And I am registered with BMI for like songwriting purposes. So I do take these things into consideration because I know
The shit.
Yeah, now you tapped in because most artists don't know about BMI, don't know about ASCAP, don't know how DistroKid and how like to make money. Because people will drop music, but like, are you monetizing off your music?
Yeah, and it's a process. I definitely get that. Like I don't feel like I'm monetizing as much as I could be or I should be. But I know it's a journey and I'm trying to get there and I'm trying to put the steps in to get there.
But the fact that you're understanding the business side is very important. I want to give you your flowers on that.
Thank you.
How are you self-teaching yourself this? Do you have a team? Like, how are you kind of learning about the business side of music?
So I do, like I said, I do some publicist work as well. And that is under Stellar Connect. We went to college together. So that's how we met. And
Oh, worse, you know Willie P and all of them?
I met him once.
Shout out to Willie. Shout out to Stella.
What about Alex Sand? You know her?
I do. We also went to college.
That's what I'm saying. She
Yeah.
went there because, you know, they've been on the podcast before. So, you know,
Yeah.
shout out to them. That's what's up,
So
man.
y'all went to the same college in Albany?
Yeah.
What's the college called?
College of St. Rose.
St.
Oh,
Rose. Yeah, that's a fact. That's the college I went to. Word. That's what's
Yeah.
up, man. So that's how y'all created this network. That's fine. You know, because all of y'all very knowledgeable. You know what I mean?
Facts. Facts.
You know, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
but from what I noticed from you, you've kept on the same path.
Mhm.
Like, you know, they've done different things. You've like stayed on the musical tip. How hard has it been for you to stay on the musical wave?
Honestly, it hasn't been that hard for me just
Okay.
because, like I said before, it's something I always knew. Like this is going to sound so cliche. I was going to say like it's in my bones type shit. But it's something like that. It's just, it has always felt like my journey and the right journey and the path I need to be on. And I have little moments where stuff happens and I'm like, okay, I am on the right path. I am doing what I'm supposed to do. So things like that.
Yeah, because I know you mentioned about like how you started first writing at age 4 or 5, then learned how to play the piano at 12, but you're very talented in that. Like,
Yeah, yo, big up to you. I was watching the videos earlier today. I was like, yo, okay,
Yeah.
we got you know, I'm not going to say real artist, but you know, we got an artist that plays an instrument coming on. That's very exciting for me.
Yeah, and then you grew up in the church and the choir, singing,
Yeah,
high school, rapping, writing, go to college. Then you start dropping in your first EP, Libra. Are you big into Zodiac? Because you got Libra 1, Libra 2.
I mean, I'm not that big into it, but like I am a Libra and I will represent that. I do think in a lot of ways it does fit me. I feel like I try to be very balanced. And I think I'm learning how to do that as I get older. But yeah, like I do like to feed into it on the concept wise. Like artistically, I think it's something that's fun to play with, essentially. So
And I see you post a lot of things about butterflies. Are you like, is that your
Yeah.
favorite animal?
yeah, I don't know when exactly it happened, but sometime in college, like butterflies ended up being my thing. Like even my friends were associating it with me. And then one of my close friends, that was also her favorite. So it's something that's always been there in a way. And it's something I want to keep. And at first it started out as like a brand thing, but now it's more of like a symbolization thing. Because, you know, a butterfly, it represents growth. It represents change. And I think that's important to me.
I definitely felt that metamorphosis, where like a butterfly starts as a caterpillar, goes to a cocoon, and then eventually becomes a butterfly.
Yeah.
goes to Cancun. It goes to Cancun.
Cancun?
It's a
Cancun. My bad. I'm going to Cancun soon. Cancun.
Now you have merch too.
Yeah.
What's up with that, man? Where can people get it? You know, talk about how you made that happen.
Yeah, so that was a collaboration with Breaking Sound.
Okay.
It's still available. I feel like I should do some updated merch soon because it's from my first album. It's been a little minute.
Okay.
But yeah, it's on breakingsound.com. They have like little artist stores and they have that set up for artists to create their merch with them. I think that's a really cool thing for them to do.
BreakingSound.com. I'm going to
Yeah.
go check that out. Thank you so much for the information. There you go, baby. Don't forget to
Yeah.
like, follow, share. Jazz is dropping them jewels. Say it again. It was
Breaking Sound.
BreakingSound.com, man. Go make that happen for yourself as an artist. That's
Yeah.
amazing. It's like a Teespring situation, kind of like a Shopify or like.
Sort of. So with that, you pay a flat fee and that's it. And then they produce everything. When people order, they send it out. And then you get your percentage of the money. And that's it.
So it's a one-time fee.
Mhm.
And then they send like shipping and handling, the clothing, all that.
Yep.
Word? And this is Stay tapped in, breaking sound.
That's it, man. You know the vibes.
Yeah.
Well, Jazz, we've reached the point in the podcast where it's time to play 5 Words with Angel. All right, Jazz. Now, 5 Words with Angel, we're going to give you a word, a phrase, or a question. You're going to give us the first word that comes to your head. But if you want to break into a dissertation, that's allowed as well, because sometimes you get triggered here on 5 Words with Angel.
Gotcha.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
You want to set it off?
So we kind of spoke a little bit about this. So the first word is butterflies.
Change, growth.
Love it. I bet. All right. The next word on 5 Words with Angel is moments.
My first album. Yeah.
All right. The third word, we're going to go with pressure.
My newest album, it's always on the front of my mind anyway. So when I hear it.
That's I love it. Go ahead, Salve. Hit him with the 4th word.
We're gonna hit them with West Virginia.
Home. Hometown.
And
Home is that much.
all right, hometown. And the 5th and final word is, what's your favorite soul food?
Ooh, mac and cheese or candied yams or collard greens. I'm not picky. Or cornbread. I'm really not picky.
All right, that's what's up. That was up. All right, everyone, that was 5 Words with Angel, sponsored by our guys Brian J. Segura, BJS Photography, and Eyes of the Soul by Curtis Holmes, available at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. Now, Jazz, it's been a great conversation. Thank you for being here with us. You've said a lot of very informative things. Would you mind, leaving us a message, a word of encouragement, inspiration? You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
And this is your camera right here. Look into that
Okay.
camera. And do your thing.
Yeah. So my little message is keep going. I think you're always going to experience obstacles, but if it feels right and you still love it and it's something you want to do, you want to pursue, keep going, push through that. That's all you can do, really.
Where can we find you, Jazz? Put everything out there. You know what I mean? Basically, pitch yourself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Let the everyone know why you a different artist than everybody else. Also, she will be performing right after the show. So yeah, just spell it all out. Socials, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at _Jasmine Hancock _ That is my government name. Don't feel like giving it up now, so we're just gonna stick with it. But that's _ JASMINEHANCOCK _ for Instagram and TikTok. You can find me as Jazz on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Amazon, Tidal, all of them. Just, JAS. Usually want to put in, either type in pressure, PRESSURE, or one song that usually works if you put my name and then first call. So yeah, tap in with me.
Anything else? You didn't leave anything out? What should we be expecting from you? What's up? Let us know.
Yeah, we got more visuals coming soon. I've been doing some interviews, things like that. So definitely focused on that. Some more music coming in the next few months as well. So yeah, just stay tuned. Just keep up with me.
Suave, is there anything you want to ask Jazz before we break out?
What would you tell your younger self when starting this journey?
You'll figure it out.
Mm.
Because I feel like the younger me didn't know where she was going. But everything works out and it takes its time, but you will figure it out. That's what I would tell myself. Yeah.
I love it. You'll figure it out. We figured it out here at Angel
Yeah.
of Words Entertainment. That was Jazz here on the Angel of Words podcast featuring Suave
In the building.
in the building. Everyone, don't forget to subscribe to the channel right down there. Do us a favor. We would really appreciate it because we love bringing you this kind of content and love bringing you artists from all over from all over the universe that are eclectic in their sound. And we're also on all the podcast platforms. So wherever you get your podcast, just search Angel of Words ENT, and we should be popping up there. Shout out again to the sponsors, by Brian J. Segura, BJS Photography, Curtis Holmes, Eyes of the Soul, available at Barnes & Nobles and Amazon.com. If you want to know what's happening with Angel of Words Universe, tap in. There's a new social media platform called Clapper. We're on there as well. It's where you go to find out how to cure STDs. No, I'm just joking. It's like a similar it's like a variation of TikTok. So we're on there as well. We try to stay on top of all the social media apps. So you'll find us there at Angel of Words ENT as well. And yeah, you go to the website aowent.com if you want to go and search for more about the Angel of Words universe. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to bringing you another Angel of Words podcast very soon. And te quiero, Puerto Rico. Santa Isabel.
Angel Words Entertainment, where your stories are heard.
Live from the Angel of Words Studios from West Virginia, performing Pressure, we have Jazz.
I came a long way, that's why I'm having my way when it comes to this music, to my peace and this life I've created. I don't play no games and I don't shoot strays, so if you come for me, make sure you're in a place where you know you want to stay, cause I can't double back and I can't lose track. I gotta keep going, cause driver's never something that I lacked. If you go against my team, you know your whole squad getting packed. Up is the only way we going now. Like Mess said, say the beef for the cow. You know I held it down. Put them for my diamonds and you see the way we glowing, cause we never threw in that towel. Say our names real loud. G and me for the win, watch while we take a bow. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down. Never slowed me down. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down, ayy. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down, ayy. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down, ayy. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down. I'm just trying to make my mama proud. I'm just trying to bring out this crowd. Put them for my hometown, put them for the city where I live. 304 to 518, know what it is. Came from the gutter now, all we do is win. Shine so bright with my wrists don't swim. Diamonds on my neck for the brand that I'm in, cause I gotta represent, ayy. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down, ayy. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down, ayy. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down, ayy. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down, ayy. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down, ayy. I've been under pressure, but it never slowed me down.
Everyone, that was Jazz with Pressure. You know what it is. The Angel of Words podcast. All day, every day, Jazz. Where can we find you again?
You can find me IG and TikTok _ Jasmine Hancock _ That also has all links to my music, but just look me up, Jazz Pressure, on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to music, really.
That's what it is, baby. West Virginia in the building. Te quiero, Puerto Rico. Santa Isabel.